Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a new releases reading vlog. I will be reading Minx by Sophie Lark, The Anti-Hero by Sara, Cate, and Meet Your Match by Kandi, Steiner. These are 3 books that I have been really wanting to read since they came out. And if you guys want to see my thoughts and my ratings, then go ahead and just keep on watching. I am reading The Anti-Hero by Sara, Cate. I actually ended up receiving a ARC for this book. I am on Sara Cate's ARC team, which is so exciting because I love anything and everything that Sara Cate comes out with. And this is her new series outside of the Salacious Players Club series that she has. This is going to be about the good Goode brothers. So I am, I think, 23% of the way into Anti-Hero, and I figured I would hop in here and give you guys an update of what's going on. So we have our hero Adam. He has grown up in a very religious household. He also kind of has grown up in a abusive household. I don't think he gets physically abused, but it's a lot of mental abuse. He is the oldest brother, I believe, and he has always taken care of his younger brothers. He's always been the good brother. He's always wanted to make his parents proud, and he sees how his father is, and he knows his father's cues, or when he's about to be upset, things like that. But he is still very much in the mindset where he will do anything his father says because he wants to be a good son, and his father is a POS. So then get the first chapter where he's younger, and we kind of get to see the dynamic of what his family life looked like when he was younger. Then we get present day when he's old now, not old, but when he's older, and he is still very much a good, nice guy. He does a lot of kind gestures, and he's very caring, and he has empathy for other people, and he is now the writer for his father's sermons, and he's very good at it. And we basically see the first time that our hero meets our heroine Sage, and Sage is a pierced and tattooed pink-haired heroine. Okay, she is very out there. She's definitely not what Adam sees for himself in the future, but he can't deny the pull that he feels towards her because one, she is so different, and he can't take his eyes off of her. And they're both at this bed and breakfast, or he's waiting to get seated, and Sage ends up getting there, and it's a 2-hour wait, 30-minute wait, or whatever, and she's like, ugh, I'm starving, blah 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 blah. And Adam ends up giving his bar seat to Sage, and that was his act of kindness or whatever. Another chair next to Sage ends up opening up, so they end up being forced to sit next to each other, and they have a conversation that kind of flows very easily. You can just see in Adam's head that he is just so interested, but he knows it can never go anywhere just because Sage just does not fit into his life. He thinks about her in that moment for weeks later. And then a little bit about our heroine. She is actually co-owner of this sex club called Pink. She's actually not an official on paper owner. She's actually currently with a boyfriend, and he is the owner, but she's the one who helped him get the building, etc., get it started. Her boyfriend's really shitty. He doesn't take her opinions into account. She has so much respect for what this sex club is, and her boyfriend does not. He just kind of sees it as he just wants to make money. Her boyfriend ends up selling the deed of the club to Adam's father. She just feels very betrayed, and she ends up leaving and breaks up with him. Adam is having a conversation with his father, and his father is basically telling him that he is essentially fired from writing the sermons, and he's gonna put somebody else in his place, and he feels so betrayed, and he is so upset, and you just can see the way his mind works, that he feels all of this anger and resentment and hate towards his father. He pushes it down because he is a good son, and he would never talk back or be a bad son to his father. And while his father is just talking all this shit, Adam can see there's a paper on his father's desk, and it's a deed to a place. And he quickly snaps the picture, sees the address, thinks that it's familiar, and he ends up driving to said address, and it is the address to the sex club that Sage works at. So now he is connecting everything everything, and he's finding out that his father owns a sex club. And he actually sees his father at said sex club. He is so upset. He goes to punch his father and he doesn't. In that moment, I was like, you should have done it. You should have done it, but he held back. And that just further shows you like the mindset that he grew up in. Sage ends up taking Adam home with her. She cleans him up, fixes his broken nose, and then they have a smutty good time. Okay, because they both kind of hate each other because they are so different. He's angry and has all this anger because of what he found out. So they have kind of like this angry hate sex moment. The way that she like goads him, he's like, I'm not a nice guy. And she was like, okay, then prove it. It was so good. They do have this moment, but the afterward is kind of awkward because he doesn't know how to feel, because he feels like he should take care of her. Like he wants to be a nice guy. You know what I mean? It was very good. And like, I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm excited to dive more into it. But I love Sage. There hasn't been a moment where I haven't loved her. So, and I guess same with Adam. There hasn't been a moment where I haven't liked him. That was a long ass synopsis. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling so far. 23% in of the anti-hero. So I will update you guys when I reach the 50% mark. Hey guys, so I am 52% of the way into the anti-hero. This book has me giggling and smiling, and I am just eating it up. Every single page, I am just eating it up. So yeah, I'm 52% of the way in. I'm on chapter 23. So much has happened. I honestly didn't know that this was gonna happen. It has turned into a fake dating situation. So we have Adam and Sage. They end up forming this plan where they're going to fake date because Sage is just such the opposite of what Adam would go for. He wants to disrupt his family's life, mostly his father's life. He wants to like get some revenge. What better way than to do that with Sage, because Adam's dad also knows that Sage is from that sex club. So they pull up to a gala and that whole situation, and then they start to film little mini videos, not that long, but like little sex videos, okay? And they post it on an app that's in this book called FanVid. Is it that? I can't remember. It's just like a basically a OnlyFans type of situation, and they post videos on there and they go literally viral. They get millions of views. Everybody sees them, and in these videos they see Adam's face only. So yeah, that's been happening, and it's just so crazy because Adam is just so reluctant to see a future with Sage because they are so different, but he's also like super into her. They can't deny the chemistry, the sexual tension. I also love being in Sage's point of view because she sees Adam struggle and she knows that he's literally having like identity crisis. It's just this back and forth, and but there's also been moments where like he joins her book club, and there's that moment where he films that little clip where he kisses her on the cheek when she's sleeping. It's so good. It's like building the tension, but also there's no lack of like sexual tension because we do get to see them like fake these videos, and then they just finished filming their third one. I was a little scandalized. I was like, okay, Adam, that really came out the woodwork. It's so good. It's so good. And I am loving it. I honestly just kind of want to binge this, to be honest. But we'll see. I am going to get back to work, and I will update you guys on the anti-hero when I get further in. Most likely be finishing this book today. I'm so excited. I honestly need to write down my thoughts because I need to write a review for this, and it just makes it easier for me later on. But I will update you guys later. Okay, so I'm officially like 74% of the way into the Anti-Hero by Cate, and I was gonna do an update at the 80% mark, but I just found the perfect stopping point because when you reach the 74% mark, you get into like, goes by month, a month of events, if you will, but it stops perfectly in July, and it has like different little like sections, and this one's called The Hero, so you know she's about to go down. So much has happened since the last time that I updated you guys. This relationship, the way that it is developing and progressing and flourishing, is everything that I wanted and more. Like, it is just so amazingly beautiful. I loved seeing each individual character, mostly our hero and our heroine, fully come into themselves, see their trauma and come out of that. And the way that Sage, there was something that she had said, well, there was been multiple times where Sage just says something and it resonates with me like deeply. It's just like I understand her and like I get it, and I relate to her in that aspect, and I love her so much. And with Adam, you know, with everything that he's been going through and just everything that's come to light, he's just struggling so hard. He doesn't even know who he is. Also left off on the part where they go to Adam's old church. The way that he just kind of is there and is present, and he remembers growing up in this church and how it is so beat down and like nobody goes to this church anymore. She asked him like what he would do if he was up on that podium, and then he asked her like what she would do if she had her own sex club. And then the question comes up where how are they gonna make it work? And they're both kind of in this place where they want it to work, they don't know how it's going to work, but for now they have each other and they want each other and they're gonna stick with each other. So it's just so good. It's just so good. Sara Cate, I don't know what she puts in her books, but I'm just really, really, really loving it so far. And I don't know if it's just like, what is it about? Like, it's not even like a priest romance, because Adam is not a priest, but like the way that God and that conversation is brought up is just beautiful. And I think Sara Cate honestly did such an amazing job, and I can't wait to see where the story goes. So that's my update for now at 74%. I'm actually currently about to film a video, so I need to get that done because I want it to go up tomorrow. But anyways, moving on, I will update you guys when I've finished The Anti-Hero. Hi guys, from me and my mushroom. So I just finished filming a video. Wow, is this what I looked like while I was filming that video? I feel like it's kind of... Oh, there we go. I feel like the exposure thing was off. So I'm here to update this reading vlog. I did finish The Anti-Hero by Sara Cate. I ended up giving it 5 stars. I just absolutely loved this book. There was just so many things that I loved about it. Sara Cate never fails. The smut never fails. And I think overall, I think she just did an amazing job with the characters individually as well as together. I loved Adam. But everything that happened with Adam, I think that he grew in such a real way. I thought his emotions were very valid for the situation. I loved the struggle that he went through and us being able to see that. I love that we got his POV, as well as Sage. I loved her so much as well. I wouldn't say she had like a major character development like Adam did, but you know, she had her purpose and I loved her for it. I loved how much she was like so different and wild and just the opposite of Adam. So definitely opposites attract. The sexual buildup, I loved the way like the smut progressed. I just honestly, I love watching a bad girl corrupt a good boy, and I eat it up. And I think that Adam is definitely a kind of like cinnamon roll hero in the streets, but in the sheets, baby, the kinks come out. And I was so here for it. They were definitely soulmates. They were just so different, but fit so well. They were just so good for each other as well. And I just love the romance. And I think that this series can only go up from here. And if the first book for me was 5 stars, then I'm just so excited for what the rest of the series has yet to come. Enough about that one. I did start Meet Your Match by Kandi Steiner. I think I'm past the 20% mark. I think I'm like 21% of the way in. We have our heroine Maven, and then we have our hero Vince. So Vince is a top hockey player, playboy. Everybody wants him, very handsome. built like a god hero. And then we have our heroine. She is plant loving, kind of bitchy, has this view and stereotype of people that are wealthier than her. She did grow up, you know, humble beginnings. You kind of have to break down a wall with her to then like fully love her. They meet at this ball because Maven's best friend is a hockey dentist, essentially. And Maven, she's basically kind of like an influencer. She recently got a job with this media company that's very big. She gets this opportunity to basically follow around Vince, basically have a whole month where she takes video of him playing hockey, like getting to see like behind the scenes of his life and like his career. Maven and Vince, they actually do meet at this gala, so they meet prior from Maven getting this job, and Vince is totally like into her since he's met her. Maven has basically already put him in this box and she doesn't want to take him out this box. She already has her stipulations about him and she already thinks that she knows him. So now they're doing forced proximity. They basically stay in the same apartment building. She has to like be around him, ask him questions for like interviews and stuff, take videos. I'm honestly really liking it so far. I like Vince. I'm getting to love our heroine. I love that she's bitchy. We already got to see kind of like the dynamic between Maven and Vince. And I did hear that the smut in this one is very prominent, so I'm super excited to get to it. We've already had this moment where they like our heroine is like making fun of him and he kind of puts her in her place, and I ate it up. What can I say? Yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at right now. But yeah, that's my update for now. I will talk to you guys later. I have an update on Meet Your Match by Kandi Steiner. I actually listened to this. I have like a couple of credits on Audible that I just haven't used yet. And for some reason, like I just wasn't finding the time and the push to like continue reading the ebook version. I ended up using one of my credits for the audiobook. When I got the audiobook and I started it from the beginning. Even though on the ebook I was already past the 20% mark, I restarted it. And then now I'm past the 50% mark. I think I'm just kind of like frustrated. I'm at the 70% mark. So this is the 70% update. I absolutely love Vince. Like there's nothing wrong with him. I think for most of this book, the issue that I have is with Maven. Like I get that she's stubborn. I get that she has been through a lot. And like I understood why she was acting the way that she was acting at the beginning of the book. Even when we were like at the 50% mark, like I understood like where she was coming from. But once they like give in to each other and then they have these explosive nights together, it is spicy, y'all. Vince has a mouth on him. These smut scenes are really good. Really good. I will say that the pet nickname comes out of nowhere. Like I don't think that it flows as it should, but like I don't hate it, but it also like every time he says it, I'm like taken aback because I'm like, where did this come from? You know what I mean? Like after that first night, she tells him like, it's a one-time thing, like it's not happening again. And then he's like, yeah, sure, okay. Doesn't want him, but he knows that she does want him. And so it's like this push and pull, this back and forth. He actually chases her down and he's like basically laying it all out there, and she gives in and she's like, yes, you know, like you don't touch any other girls and like you're mine and all this stuff, right? And then so they have this even more explosive night together where things are hot. And then she proceeds to tell him that they can be friends with benefits. I just don't get it. And like when she says that, you can tell that Vince gets like hurt by it. He agrees to it because he doesn't want to push her too far. He'd rather have her as friends with benefits if he can't have her for more, if that makes sense. I'm frustrated because I really wanted them to like be together, and then if there was gonna be a third act breakup, then fine. But like now it's like she's just being stupid and mean. Vince has given her no reason not to trust him, like absolutely none, and she's still guarded and like reluctant to love. And I get that she had a bad like relationship, but she shouldn't base a whole population of people off this one bad experience, and she shouldn't compare Vince to her ex because they're completely different people. And you could just tell that he's a simp for her, and you can just tell that he is on his knees for her. And I'm just like, you don't deserve him at this point. Like you really don't. And then she goes she's like, he wants friends with benefits, and he agrees. And then she's like, damn, can't believe you agreed. I really wanted him to like fight for me. I was like, bitch, what? So yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm just frustrated, and I had just stopped reading, and I was like, fuck it, I'm updating this vlog because I needed to get that off my chest. Like, this is not fair to him, like, at all. I'm just mad on Vince's behalf because he loves her, and she's just being a scared little brat, literally. And the fact that she said that to him and he was hurt by it, but he just kind of gave her a cocky smile and was just like, okay, if that's what you want. I'm just like, that's not what he wants though. He want to love you and you won't let him. And it's so sad. So I will talk to you guys later when I finish the book. Hi guys, so I'm here to do an update on Meet Your Match by Kandi Steiner. I have officially finished this book and I ended up giving it 4.5 stars, rounding it down to a 4-star. There were quite a few things that helped me come to the conclusion of rounding it down instead of up. First off, I want to say that I loved this book, and honestly, most of these 4 stars, 4.5 stars, they go to Vince because he is chef's kiss. Like, literally, he is perfect. And I'm obsessed with him and I love him. And not to say that I don't love Maven, I think that she was just a little bit too stubborn for me personally. So yeah, I understood it to a certain point. I think I mentioned it in the last update that I did. Another thing, because I think that was the main part, I think Maven's decisions and her thoughts were kind of basically the biggest reason why this didn't get a 5-star. But I will also say that I wish it would have ended a little bit differently. There is no third act breakup, which I love, because if there was, I probably would have knocked this down way more than to a 4, because it took so long for them to get together to then have a third act breakup, you know what I mean? So another thing, like in the months after them getting together, like they spend some time with her family, and Vince plays another hockey game and he is like moving up in the world of hockey, and then he like buys a house and he takes her to this house and he's like, move in with me. And she's like, yeah, like I'll move in with you. And so they have this whole moment and we have one last steamy scene. But after he asks her to move in with him, I'm like, oh, perfect. Like we get to see a little bit of their future where, you know, they're moving forward in the relationship. But then they're in the middle of sexy time and he pops a ring on her finger and she's like, oh, you're supposed to get on one knee. And tell me why this dude full on pulls out and he gets down on one knee, bug naked, right? And that's how he asked her. And I was just like, that's not my favorite. It's not a very appealing visual. And I also thought it was too soon. Like, pretty sure it mentions it in the book that they were together for like 9 months. 9 months sounds pretty good to me for like moving in, but for him to ask her to marry him in the middle of a sex scene and he gets down on one knee like buck naked, like mid sex scene, maybe he could have asked her like afterwards, or maybe we could have had like a second epilogue, something. But yeah, the ending wasn't my favorite either, so that's another reason. But that one's smaller than the other stubbornness thing. Solid 4 stars. I really did love it. It was really good, and I can't wait to see what other books and scenarios that Kandi Steiner comes up with for this hockey series. Now, moving on, I did start Minx by Sophie Lark. I will say this book already has me in a chokehold, you guys. I started this book yesterday and I'm pretty sure I'm at like let me check. I'm reading Minx. Yup. First of all, I love this cover. Listen, yup. I love this book so far. Like, I'm eating it up. Okay, I'm 49% of the way in. I'm on chapter 14. Yeah, so I basically made it to the 50% mark last night. From the moment I started this book, I was hooked. That's the thing about Sophie Lark. She will hook you from the beginning, and she makes me, I can't put this book down. I love the concept. I love the way it opened. I love Ramsey. I'm pretty sure it's because it's Ramses, Ramses, but I think it's just Ramsey, right? But there's an S at the end, so I don't know. But I love him. Like, there's just something about a billionaire, powerful man. And the way he's described, girl, he seems like my type of man. Like, he is just perfect. And the things that he says, the things that he thinks about our main heroine, Blake, which I also love. She's such a bad bitch. She's such a boss bitch. Like, I love her. She takes none of Ramsey's bullshit, which I like, but she's also like incredibly attracted to him. And I also love her escorting background. I love learning more about her background besides the escorting. I love seeing snippets about Ramsey's past. And I will say that I have been loving this, I think, because there's just this forced proximity in the writing of this book specifically. I haven't felt like this about other Sophie Lark books that I've read, but I've also read them a minute ago and maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but right now I just took notice with this book. Every chapter, time passes, but they are together in every chapter. Like, there is a scene in every chapter, there is like moments between them in every chapter, and if they're not together, their inner monologue and their thoughts are very like, not necessarily always about the other partner, but I don't know what it is. It just feels like we are missing, there isn't space here for them to like be apart, but they are apart. Like, we know this. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the relationship is the main point of this story, and I'm loving it. I'm eating it up. And the kink in here, it is pet play. Honestly, I don't know a lot about pet play, but the way it's done in here, hot. It is so hot, and the way that Sophie Lark describes it, and the rules and the scenes and the aftercare, and it's just everything I wanted it to be and more. You just sense the feeling in the writing, and you can just you guys, it's so good. We can also tell that Ramsey is head over heels for Blake. Blake is a little bit more resistant. She's a little bit more reluctant to love. I mean, this did start as a business transaction, but she doesn't want to fall in love with him because she's also fallen in love with a client before and it didn't go very well. But you know, Ramsey is different, so it's gonna be great. I don't know what the third act breakup is gonna be. Right now, we're just kind of progressing in the relationship. Did I even tell you what this book is about? We have our heroine, Blake. She is a high-end escort. People want to be on her list, and she has set rules, and she just knows how to play the game. You know what I mean? Like, she is smart, she is hot, she is sexy, she is confident. It's just everything. It gives. It gives. And then we have our hero, Ramsey. He is literally a billionaire. He invests in stock, and he's just very smart, and he knows how to play the game as well. And when he first sees our heroine at this like race horsing betting thing, he is like instantly intrigued by her and attracted to her. You can tell when they have like their first interaction, he's very attracted to her mind. Not to say that he's not attracted to her body, but like you can tell in his inner monologue that he is just instantly pulled towards her, and you could tell that he's already wrapped around her finger and she hasn't even done anything, but you know, she likes to play little mind games, and he knows, and he like low-key loves it, and it's just so good. But yeah, they meet, and she is currently like with a different client. That's why they are kind of around the same circles. He decides that he wants her, and he goes about pursuing her. It seems kind of light work, the way that he did figure out what she needed in the bedroom, I guess you could say, but it kind of like makes sense. Obviously, he's paying for her time, and he decides that it's gonna be a little pet play. She's like a kitten, a kitty cat, a minx, and he buys her a collar and it says Minx on it, and he calls her Minxy girl. Stop it right now. Like, I am eating it up. I'm going to read more today. I am so excited. And yeah, so that is the update for now. I will talk to you guys later when I have read a bit more of Minx, or if I finish it. Who knows? This reading vlog might be long already. So I will probably update you guys after I finish Minx. Hi guys, so I know we're in the same spot, kind of. I'm at my desk here for an update on Minx by Sophie Lark. I did finish this book last night and I'm giving it 4.5 stars, but I'm rounding it up to a 5-star. This book was just everything that I wanted and needed at the time that I was reading it. It hit every single time that I picked it up. It hit every page, every line, every sentence, period. It was so good. Like the way that Sophie Lark wrote this book, she put her whole pussy in it. That's all I'm saying. It is just something so different. I think I want to say that this might be my first escort romance because I can't recall if I have read a previous one before. So there's that. But I know for a fact that I will be remembering Minx for a very long time. I just love both characters deeply. There was so many things that I didn't expect in this book. Whenever I would hear people talk about it, I would skip because I knew that I was going to be reading it and I didn't want my thoughts to be clouded by other people's opinions of the book. The spice in this, 4 chili peppers for me specifically on my spice rating scale. There was period sex in here and that was just so different and so cool because yeah, I've read other books where like the heroine gets her period, but there's never been like period sex, okay? And the way that Sophie Lark did it was just so classy, kind of. Like it didn't make me feel icky about it. Like it was just kind of hot. And the way that the hero responded to it was just chef's kiss. Besides the pet play, which I will talk about here in a second, a little bit more about that. There was like a gym scene. There was a gym scene that was very hot. There was also a lot of mental health representation in here as well that I loved. And like at the end, there's like another sex scene where it's kind of role reversal. So with the whole mental health thing, our hero does have panic attacks and there is one displayed in the book. So trigger warnings for that. The heroine does say that she struggles with it as well. The way that scene will forever stick with me just because the hero gets so vulnerable and with the heroine being there and providing comfort and like a name to what he was going through, it put a lot of things into perspective for him, but it also made him feel insecure in a way because he didn't want to seem weak to Blake. And it's so good. It's so good. And I just loved everything that followed that scene. Like it was just hot as hell. It just made Ramsey just, he is book husband. Like he really is. Like he is on the list. He's officially made it on the list. And then there was the whole role reversal. It wasn't heavy role reversal, which I don't think I would have enjoyed if it was like heavy on Blake being the dom and Ramsey being the sub. It was very light, but it was also hot the way that it happened. All of the praise back and forth, the heroine to the hero, I eat up. You guys already know. So now to talk about why I didn't get like a full 5-star. I had to talk a little bit out of it because the whole thing about this book, it's the pet play, right? Like she is like a kitty cat for Ramsey's. We only get like that I remember, and mind you, I did finish this last night, so I shouldn't have forgotten, but there was just also so many great scenes, but like specifically like her in her cat suit. There's that first initial one, and then there's the cream one. There's that one. Those are the 2 main ones that I remember. And there was like another one, but that one was more of a rules and the pet play changed a little bit in that third scene. So I guess you could say there was like a 2.5, and that was about it in the entire book. And I just think that maybe we should have gotten a little bit more of that, just because if that's what you're gonna base off the book and like advertise it as, especially, you know, naming the book Minx, which is her pet name, and all of that, I just feel like we should have gotten a little bit more. She does change into her cat suit in other scenes, but it doesn't play out the way that the first main scenes did. But you can't say there's no spice in this book, bitch, because there is spice in this book. 4.5 stars, rounded it up to a 5-star. That's how much I loved it, and it has just opened me up to more of Sophie Lark. Like I feel like I'm gonna enter my Sophie Lark era, just because, you know, I did read the first 2 books in the Brutal Birthright series, but it didn't hook me the way that I got so hooked with Minx. Like I have to go back and read some more of Sophie Lark. Like I loved that book, and I don't know what it was. I think it was the time, but at the same time, like I loved it. Like I loved it so much. Anyways, I'm gonna just stop rambling because we'll be here forever. I'm already filming for 7 minutes. So that is the last book that I am going to be reading for this reading vlog. This reading vlog, I filmed it in the span of so many days. It was not supposed to take me this long, but you know, with reading, I don't know what it is. But anyways, besides the point, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys rated the books down below in this vlog, or if you have read them, or if you're adding them to your TBR. If you're interested in reading them, let me know. And if you don't want to comment any of that, then go ahead and comment a kitty cat emoji down below for Minx. That book is gonna live rent-free in my head for the foreseeable future. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.